Please enjoy this movie. If you like it, please subscribe to my channel and give me a like. This was a movie that we made as a family in 1959, a wheat harvest, on the Jan farm. It starred a all-star cast of the Jan family, and it was directed by my dad, Raymond von Jan. Actually, it was Raymond Paul Jan because Mom liked the sound of music and wanted a connection to her most favorite movie. Anyways, we are now at the wheat field, and we're coming to the field in our new 1959 Ford 3/4 ton pickup. And they're waving to us. Us kids are in there. My brother Jed. This is Valerie Rose Jan, our mom. And she's pretending to like the taste of grease. I remember asking Dad about this later and asked him if you can actually eat grease. And he says, yeah, I think you can. I wouldn't recommend that at all. And here's my mom greasing up the machine with what used to be like a pump grease gun. And Dad's using it here now to finish greasing up and oiling up the combine. So here's Dad on his tractor. This is a picture of him taken by Caterpillar Company in 1954. So when he rented this tractor to start with, it's a 5U D2, and they came out and took an actual picture of him. And on the back of it, we'll see that he was renting this tractor at first. And I know he bought it because I still have this exact same tractor down on the farm. That would have been in 1954, and he said at the time the hour meter read the exact same number, 1,954 hours. So here's the back of the picture and describing the fact that it was a rented tractor to Raymond Jan. Now the next scene, you will see us kids sitting on this tractor, me, Joel Ray Jan on the hood, and Jedney Lee Jan sitting next to Raymond Jan. And you'll notice that we are wearing something that looks like diapers. I can only imagine this must be Greek days, my mom being having fun. And I have to admit, we do look a lot like Zeus. So here we are, going around this field, filling up the combine with wheat. Another picture of the 5U. This is a number 8 McCormick Deering International Combine. It was motor driven with a 4-cylinder engine. The wheat going in the feeder. Mom here now has backed the truck pickup up underneath the spout, pulled the lever, and the wheat comes out. Notice how much chaff and straw is in this wheat. We only ran a top sieve because back in that day, there was hardly any dockage, cost to dockage. So Dad and Grandma, they said, let's haul it all to town and let them sort it out. That doesn't go over very well today. So here we're coming into the warehouse, and we are coming up onto the scale to get our gross weight. Kids on the back, don't think you'd get away with that now, riding down the highway with the cops. So off the scale, now up into where you dump it, into the pit, into the big cement, next to the cement storage. You dump it down the grate, the elevator takes the wheat up to the top. When the pickup is hoisted up like this on this hoist, the gas floods down into the engine, and it always took a lot of turning over of the engine to clear out that gas. And so he sweeps it out here. Most people were using 1.5 ton, 2-ton trucks while we were running pickups like this. And it hauled about 60 bushel, which is about 3,600 pounds. Meanwhile, Grandpa is coming to the field to make sure everything is going all right. His name is Paul Albert Jan. He's coming in his new 59 Apache Chevy half-ton pickup. And at times we did haul wheat with this thing. It had a set of racks too. Don't remember actually ever using it that way. And here we see Grandpa checking out the machine, oiling it up, making sure that Dad's doing everything correctly, that he isn't ruining this machine that he bought, Grandpa bought, as I understand it, in 1930. So this is 59. You've got 29 years on this combine of farming. A little oil goes a long ways to keeping a machine like this, open gearboxes and stuff, running. A little oil all the time really helps. So Grandpa's coming out to check if everything's running right. Here, Dad gives him a last preview of everything, all the little intricate things that are working, and Grandpa's giving him the okay that we're properly running his machine. Even checking on the inside of it here to see that maybe the sieves are plugged up or not, and everything's clean. He said, well, everything's good, it looks like. Go ahead, son. And after it's all done, Grandpa takes off, everything's fixed. Everything's working well, and that's not usually the case. So Dad takes off farming, Grandpa's gone, and lo and behold, the first thing didn't get 50 feet, and the thing's breaking down. Has to throw the clutch out. That's the lever in the front there that he pins, and it slows down, shuts the engine down, and he's looking to see what in the world went wrong. Now, that was a pretty good cut to the other side of the combine, realizing that we are on 8mm film camera, and we only have one of them. So he's taking this back to the house later that winter and spliced this together. But meanwhile, we're making this movie here, and he finds out the belt's broke. He must have done some real damage because it just not going to work. Throws his hat down. This is the end. It's trash. He figures, well, he's going to fix this combine once and for all. And the old saying is, if you can't get it fixed, get a bigger hammer. And he takes a big sledgehammer, starts beating it. If you'll notice, I'm sitting in the cab of the pickup, looking out the back window, and I remember this now, even before I saw this movie, but I couldn't figure out why Dad did that, but I knew it was happening. Oh, look at this. Gonna take and shovel a hole here. He's pointed to the combine, so what he's trying to infer that he's going to bury this combine in the dirt. It's over because this machine is shot. So goodbye, combine. Well, he didn't get it all sliced together, and I didn't want to put any of this film on the floor, cut it and have it drop it on the floor. So here's an extension to the movie that he never got spliced in. But his gloves are wore out now. The shovel was no good. Now the gloves. Now he's got a new pair of gloves. Now he can get to work really good. It's going to all be better, and he's going to be able to dig this hole. We're probably a couple months later, actually. The combine probably isn't sitting next to us, but that doesn't matter because we're going to imagine it's there. He's going to make like it's there. We parked the pickup in basically the same spot as in relationship to the town buildings. Here we are as kids. I'm Joel Ray Jan coming here. We're inspecting this hole. Don't really know what Dad's doing out here digging in this dry dirt. My brother Jedney Lee Jan is also there. And we're in the movie. Those are our train uniforms from running models at home. We had a model train, and Dad bought us these train uniforms. It had my name on it. Jed had his, and we're watching Dad dig this. Now he's sizing up there like he's sizing that combine up, and he's going to put it in that hole because it died. The combine's dead. And there's only one thing you can do with dead stuff, and that's bury it. So he's digging a really good hole here. You notice that shiny shovel? Everything Dad had on, as far as shovels go, he'd shine those all up so that dirt slid off good. I don't think the dirt's very wet here. This is probably still late autumn, and it hasn't rained that much. Anyways, he's working up a sweat. This is where Dad would tell you that he's straining his milk. And that's an old saying I understand that other people had too, is whenever you really was working your body and stuff, and it was a strain, you just say, hey, straining your milk. It's like milking a cow and straining the milk for the dirt. What that had to do with it, just a way of saying that you were really working hard. So here he buries the combine. It's supposedly in the pit, and he's saying his last, giving some tears. He's crying. It's a sad, sad thing. This combine did a lot of good work, and now it's over. No. And so puts his hat on, grabs a shovel, puts it in the pickup and drives off. Then a little bit later, apparently, that wasn't a good enough ending to this. He has mom and us kids come to the funeral in the 59. Now you notice the 59 has a black top on it. So this is, I think they must have dung the paint up and repainted the top, and it's now all black, but it's the same pickup. Here we are standing by the pit, saying our last words of mourning, and walk away all sad. So this is a new unconnected. That was the end of that movie. This is, as far as I know, this is unconnected filmage of him starting it. See the fan even turning on that engine. He goes to start the pony motor on the D2. Several slips off the rope. It was just a piece of twine. And the next time he gets it started, he had to flip the compression levers and engage the clutch. And once it was warm, the old diesel engine started up real easy. Here he takes a big swig of water, and this was a very common sight. Then he'd go, that's good stuff. Start engage it with the clutch on the combine slowly, so you didn't kill the engine. Get on it and go farming. Go harvest some more. This was a rather good crop this year, and I sort of remember this. On the reel there, you see it's just bats, just straight bats on that reel. But I know that the grain was so thick that it went down. In other words, it lodged. It was laying flat on the ground. And they actually had to change that reel to the pickup reel. I remember that conversation with Dad and Grandpa that, and it was rare to put the pickup reel on. They didn't want to put the pickup reel on. It's a much more mechanical situation, and you don't want to wear it out, so you don't use it if you don't have to. Nowadays, we just leave the pickup reel. That's basically all we've got on combines. But we still have the flat slats here, you see, straight across. But the wheat, you can see it's starting to lay down. This is some of the best ground that Dad had here. And to be truthful, we probably didn't even fertilize this to get this good a crop. Now, when you came with these pole machines, you just came out, finished the cut on a corner, and then turned the cat hard to the right, and that header actually went backwards, lined right back up with the edge of the wheat going the other way, and you just made nice square corners. There's no little triangle like if we do that with a regular combine now, you leave a kind of a little eyelet or triangle there that you got to go back and cut again. But you can see this stubble is quite tall, even after he's cut off 2 feet of it. The young girl that you've seen in the movie so far is Susan Dejan, my sister, and we rode up in that bulk tank many hours. There's rods that go through it, and one night we thought it would be fun if Susan sat down in the bottom of it and with a rod across her lap, and we figured, well, the last load of the day, we didn't know we were at the last load, but that Mom would come and dump it out and that grain would go away from her. But she was up to her neck in wheat by the time we got Dad stopped, or he figured it was full. We found out that Mom, it wasn't going to be another load going to the warehouse to dump it out. So Susan was trapped in that bulk tank up there. And we were all scared because she's like right up to her neck in wheat. And Dad finally figured out what he could do is take the nuts off the outside of the tank of that rod, or one nut, and then pull that rod out from underneath her, and then we got her out. But the warehouse was already closed when Dad was done harvesting that day, so we almost made a mistake. I guess you could say we did make a mistake. These exhaust pipes, this one that's rattling, wiggling back and forth there above the engine, we used to put handfuls of wheat on top of that and roast it. And it kind of made it taste good, and we'd eat it. I think now you'll see that it's the pickup reel on there sucking the, running the wheat in. Dad's showing you jumping off the cat here. People used to do this. It's dangerous. It's one of those things that get you in trouble. But, you know, you got to have some action when you're doing a movie. So just thought it'd be something to show, something that you can do. Didn't think anything about it being dangerous back in the day, but I remember being up there watching him do that and going, whoa. Even then, I thought it was kind of wild. So this kind of shows you how tall this wheat is. I would say this is probably at least 4 feet tall. We can sometimes get wheat that tall, but most of it's dwarf. Some of the club wheats that you see, the little balls that are on top of those stalks are club wheat. There is mixed in common wheat into that, but it's really tall. This is a real fantastic year for back in the day. So they're showing you how tall it was. You see him walk up to the end gate of the pickup, and the end gate is probably 4 feet tall, and that's what uh, Susan, how high that wheat was covering her up. So here we jump in with our bare feet. Notice our bare feet. We're walking around this stubble field with bare feet. I remember you had to really be careful from jabbing those stalks into your feet. It was kind of a slide and scoot type of thing, but we were always barefoot. Didn't matter when, unless it was go to meeting time or something, Sunday meeting. They had the straw spreader on at that time too. I see. That didn't usually that usually wasn't on there either. Now you can see that pickup reel, and why they stopped and put that pickup reel on is it kind of rakes it in. Otherwise, if you had that bat reel, you might drive forward, cut the top off first, and then go down and get the other, just so you didn't bat all the weed out onto the ground. But you can see it's kind of got rake teeth in there if you look careful. And that thing, you see it how it scoops it in over the guards and onto the draper. It was pretty rare to have that pickup reel on there. And here we are, all cleaned up after a hard day in the field. And we still seem to have all kinds of energy to goof off. A couple of little towheads, Joel and Jed, and we're running around the yard. We're supposed to make action on the movie. But I kind of feel like there's going to be a wreck pretty soon. Wait for it? Yeah, wait for it. Boom. There it is. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and hit the like button if you enjoyed this video. Thank you very much.